The night air was thick with salt, the Pacific crashing like a drumbeat of war. It was Hell Week, the crucible that breaks even the strongest men. The sand of Coronado Beach stuck to her skin, gritty, cold, merciless. Around her, men twice her size dropped into the surf, teeth chattering, lips blue. And there she was, one lone woman. No one said it out loud, but every man thought the same thing. She won't last. The instructors didn't need to say it either. Their smirks said it all. To them, she was already broken, just waiting to ring the brass bell and walk away. But she didn't. Not yet. Before she was here, before the sand, the pain, the endless surf torture, she was just a daughter of a soldier. Her father, a decorated Navy officer, never lived to see her grow up. He died on a mission overseas, a folded flag handed to her trembling hands when she was only 12. She remembered that day vividly. The silence in the room, the smell of her mother's perfume, the way the officer's voice cracked when he said, "Your father was a hero." And that's when the fire was lit, not to replace him, not to be him, but to prove that his courage lived on in her blood. "Get on your faces," the instructor roared. Bodies slammed into the sand. The surf roared, washing over their heads. She pressed her face into the grit, lungs burning. Her body wanted to scream, but she locked it down. Around her, men were already groaning, already broken. The instructors circled like wolves. "Too cold for you? Ring the bell. 3 taps, and you're free." She said nothing. She couldn't. Her jaw was clenched so tight, she thought her teeth might shatter. When the wave dragged her under, she whispered to herself, "Not here. Not tonight." By the second day, exhaustion wasn't just a shadow. It was a monster sitting on their backs. No sleep, no warmth, only pain. The instructors rolled out the logs, thick, heavy timbers that required 6 men to carry. They barked, "Pick them up! Over your heads! Now!" She grabbed her spot. The log crushed down on her shoulders, her spine screaming. Beside her, one man dropped. Another cursed. She staggered, her legs trembling, sweat burning her eyes. "Drop it, girl." "You're holding your team back," an instructor snarled. For a split second, her knees buckled. The log slipped, her arms nearly gave way. And then, flashback, her father's voice echoing in her memory. Courage isn't about never breaking. It's about breaking, and still moving forward. With a cry that ripped from her chest, she surged upward, locking her arms. The men around her glanced in shock. The log stayed up, and so did she. That night, they marched into the freezing Pacific. The water hit like knives. They locked arms, waves slamming into their chests, salt burning their eyes. "Stay together." "Stay in the water!" the instructor screamed. Teeth chattered, voices cracked. Quitting never hurt anyone. All you gotta do is ring the bell. One man broke, then another. They crawled out, ringing the brass bell, tears in their eyes. The sound echoed across the beach. Ding, ding, ding. Every ring was a funeral for a dream. The woman's body shook violently, hypothermia gnawing at her. She couldn't feel her legs. Her lips were turning blue. But she whispered through her chattering teeth, "Not me. Not now. Sleep deprivation is a cruel enemy." By the third night, hallucinations crept in. Men talked to shadows. Some cried out for their mothers. Others laughed at nothing. She stumbled through the sand, dragging a raft with her team, muscles torn and bleeding. One candidate collapsed. The instructors pounced. "Another one down! Who's next?" "You!" They pointed at her. Her vision blurred. For a moment, she saw her father, standing in the surf, watching her. "Don't stop now," he whispered in her mind. And she didn't. On the 5th day, They ordered the candidates into the mud flats, barbed wire above, thick, sucking mud below. Crawl! She dropped to her stomach, elbows sinking into the slime. Blood mixed with mud as Barb sliced her uniform. Her arms screamed, her chest burned, her eyes filled with grit. Halfway through, she froze. Her body refused to move. The weight of failure pressed down. The instructor crouched beside her, sneering. "Give up, girl. This isn't for you. Nobody will remember if you quit. Just ring the bell." Her lips trembled. Her vision dimmed. But then she whispered, "Watch me." And with a scream, she dragged herself forward, inch by inch, bleeding but unbroken. By the final day, most were gone. The beach was littered with broken dreams. The survivors stood in formation, ragged, battered, hollow-eyed, and among them, her. The instructors paced before them. No smiles, no applause, just a nod. Because in this world, respect isn't spoken, it's earned. The men beside her, the same ones who had doubted her, who had laughed at her, now stood shoulder to shoulder, silent, humbled. One muttered under his breath, almost in awe. "She's one of us. She hadn't earned her trident yet. That lay ahead. More battles, more tests." But she had done what most thought impossible. She had survived Hell Week, not because she was stronger, not because she was faster, but because when the ocean, the cold, the pain, and the doubt tried to drown her, she refused to let go. Because courage doesn't ask if you're a man or a woman. Courage only asks one question. Will you quit or will you fight? And she answered. If you're still watching, you're proof that courage inspires courage. Drop a comment below if this story hit your heart. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories of sacrifice, resilience, and the warriors who redefine what's possible. The weeks after Hell Week blurred together. Sleep, eat, train, bleed, repeat. Every morning, she woke with muscles screaming, yet her mind sharper than ever. She wasn't just surviving now, she was becoming. But the instructors weren't finished. Hell Week had only been the door. Now came the fire beyond it. The Pacific wasn't just cold anymore, it was deadly. They strapped on scuba gear, heavy tanks pressing down. The ocean swallowed them whole. "Underwater navigation test," barked the dive instructor. "Find your target." No mistakes. The water was black, suffocating. Pressure crushed her lungs. One wrong move, and she'd drown. Halfway through, her regulator slipped. Salt water flooded her mouth. She coughed, choking, vision spinning. Panic clawed at her chest. She almost shot for the surface, instant failure. But then she remembered her father's words echoing in her head. Fear is just borrowed time. Take it back, she steadied, fixed her gear, and kept moving. Stroke after stroke until the target came into view. When she surfaced, gasping, the instructor studied her. No praise, no nod, just silence. But silence here meant victory. Weeks later, they dropped into the mountains, rucksacks heavier than their bodies, rifles in hand. Every hill was a punishment. Every step tore skin from bone. Her squad didn't trust her. Not yet. Some still muttered behind her back. She won't keep up. She's dead weight. One night, during a raid exercise, her team got ambushed. Blanks cracked in the night. Instructors screaming like enemy fire. Chaos. Men froze. She didn't. She charged forward, dragging a teammate to cover, returning fire with precision. Her orders cut through the noise like steel. "Left flank! Move, now!" By the end, their squad wasn't just alive, they had won. And for the first time, the men didn't see her as the girl. They saw her as a SEAL. But not everyone accepted her. One candidate, a towering man with a chip on his shoulder, saw her as a threat. "You don't belong here," he hissed one night, when the others were asleep. She stared back, her voice calm. Then beat me. Outlast me. But don't waste your breath trying to break me. From that moment, it wasn't just training. It was war between them. Months later, only a handful remained. The brass trident was placed in her hand, the symbol of the SEALS. For the first time, she allowed herself a smile. But then the commander spoke. Earning the trident doesn't mean you're done. It means you're ready to fight. And your first mission starts now. Her blood ran cold. Deployment came fast. A real mission overseas. A high-value target hidden deep in hostile territory. She boarded the helicopter with her team, the night sky alive with blades and thunder. But as they descended into enemy ground, she realized something was wrong. The intel was off. The maps were wrong. Someone had set them up. Gunfire exploded in the dark. Ambush, chaos, smoke, screams. Her rival, the same man who said she didn't belong, was pinned down, blood pouring from his shoulder. She had a choice: leave him and save herself, or risk it all to drag him out. For a heartbeat, the world went silent. Then she moved. Bullets snapped around her. She dove into the dirt, grabbed him, and pulled him toward cover. Why would you save me?" he gasped through the blood. Her eyes burned with fire. "Because SEALS don't leave anyone behind. Not even you." By dawn, the mission was over. They had lost men. They had gained scars. But they had also found something greater. Respect. Brotherhood. And her rival, once her enemy, now whispered hoarsely as medics carried him away, "You're more SEAL than I'll ever be." She stood in the ruins, rifle in hand, eyes on the horizon. Hell Week had tested her body, but the battlefield would test her soul. And this was just the beginning. Part 2 ends with suspense. Her journey doesn't stop here. It only gets darker, deeper, and more dangerous. Do you want me to write Part 3 as the actual combat deployment arc? A full battle story with twists, traitors, and a final shocking ending?